let's get this started. So the first 5 is really just going over, the idea of unit rate using complex fractions, okay, which you have to be able to set up, okay. So let's go with the first one. It's asking you for the time it takes him to write a full page. So that's just another way of saying what's the unit rate per page, right? So it takes 1/6. So we want to know per page. So we're going to write page at the bottom. And your homework should have all the units. And it takes 1/12 of a minute to complete 1/6 of a page. So that's the rate. I want to change this to unit rate because I want to know how long it takes him to finish one page. Well, times the reciprocal, which is 6/1, times the reciprocal, 6/1. Well, if you multiply the top, 6/12 is just half. It takes him half a minute to complete one page. Okay. 2. 1/3 of a bottle in 1/6 of a minute. 1/6 of a minute. How much time will it take him to fill the bottle? So we want one bottle at a time. This is what I want, the unit rate in terms of one bottle. So what is the time needed for that? So let's write. So this helps me set up my ratio, right? And which unit goes where. I know it takes 1/6 of a minute for 1/3 of a bottle to fill 1/3 of a bottle. Now to complete the whole bottle or to fill the whole bottle, 3/1 is the reciprocal. And again, 1/6 times 3/1 is a half. Half a minute for one full bottle of water. 3. 1/5 of a song in 1/15 of a minute. That's how long it takes to play. How much will it take him to play an entire song? So entire song is another word for, hey, one song. How long does it take? So that's going to be what I need at the bottom here. So let me just fill in my units. So my rate is going to be written in that manner. Or the minutes on top, songs is going to be at the bottom. And this one has a third part. I need to know how many 5 songs, how long will 5 songs take. So we're going to go from rate to unit rate to our prediction. So initially our rate is 1/15 of a minute or 4 seconds for every 1/5 of a song. So let's multiply this by the reciprocal to find the unit rate. So we're going to multiply by 5/1 times 5/1 and times 5/1 here. Okay, so at the bottom, 1/5 times 5/1 equals 1 song, and on the top, 1/15 times 5/1 is just 1/3 of a minute. Okay, simplify. Now, be careful here, guys. If you ask you for the unit rate, I need this middle part. 1 song, we want to know how long it takes for 5 songs. Well, times 5 on top, and we get 5/3, or change that to 1 2/3 of a minute for 5 songs. Okay. Gabriel used 1/3 of a liter of milk to make 1/9 of a jug of tea. Ugh. How much milk is required to fill the jug? Well, I don't know what size the jug is. So let's just keep it in terms of jugs, right? So, and I need how much milk is required to fill the jug. So I need to know how much it takes, or what's the unit rate, because I want to know how long it takes to fill up one jug. So that's one part of the question. The other part of the question, I also want to find out how long it takes to fill 9 jugs. And so again, we're going to go from rate to unit rate to a prediction here. So let's finally write the rate. So the rate that's given to me, and that's why I write jug at the bottom, because I know it's going to be compared to 1 jug. So that helps me set up my rate. The rate is 1/3 of a liter for every 1/9 of a jug. Right, so the unit rate, so that's how long does it take to fill one full jug? Well, times 9/1 times 9 over 1. Oops. And 1/3 of 9 is just 3. So we get 3 liters. And then, again, look how simple it is to find 9 jugs. We just multiply times 9 and times 9, and you get 27 liters. Okay. So 1 through 5 is really just, making sure we know what we're doing before we attempt the other ones. All right, 1/4 of an ounce of nuts to make 1/12 of a pound of cake. How many ounces of nuts are needed to make a cake? So here's my hint. So I'm going to write 1 cake here. How many pounds or how many ounces of nuts for 1 cake? And then they are also asking us how many ounces for 5 cakes. So that's my setup. So I'm going to go over here, write my rate. So I'm going to write 1/4 of an ounce and 1/12 of a cake, pound of cake, 1/12 of a pound. Actually, it should be not cake, it should be pound. Pound. All right, so same thing. Let's change that to a unit rate. So I'm going to multiply by 12 over 1, reciprocal, 12 over 1 over here, likewise. So what's 1/4 times 12? 1/4 times 12 over 1 equals 12 over 4, which equals 3. And that's what we get here. So it takes 3 ounces of nuts to make 1 pound of cake. I'll make 5 pounds of cake. Well, we just multiply by 5. And we get 15 ounces of nuts. Move on. So hopefully the other ones are a little bit better, challenging wise. Give myself some room. A McFlurry calls for, no idea what a McFlurry is, but 1/4 cup of Oreos for every 5/6 cup of vanilla. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah. No. So let me write. Jeez, hang on a second, guys. I'm trying to give myself some room. All right, I can do it there. So, if you had total 10 cups of vanilla, how many cups of Oreos would you need? Okay. So I'm going to do this all the long way, only because I want to stress the unit rate part. So I'm going to write 1/4 Oreo goes with 5/6 vanilla. That's what you need to make the McFlurry. So that's your recipe. But I want to know, when I'm using 10 cups of vanilla, how many Oreos? So that's the main question, right? So that's the main question. So let's find a unit rate. So I'll go over here, I'm going to put vanilla. I'll put Oreo. And erase this question mark. So what's the reciprocal of 5 over 6? The reciprocal is 6/5. I'll multiply the top by 6/5. So 5/6 times 6/6 is 1. On the top, 1/4 times 6 over 1/4 times 6 over 5. You're welcome to use a calculator. You're going to get 6 over, actually 3, 2. You're going to get 3 over 10. Right, simplified, you get 3 over 10. Now I can multiply this by 10, multiply that by 10, and if I multiply 3 tenths times 10, obviously I'm going to get 3. Okay, sorry, 3 times 10 is 30, and then there's a 1 here. 10 times 1 is 10, and what's 30 over 10? 3. So if I'm using 10 cups of vanilla, how many cups of an Oreo will I need? I will need 3 cups of Oreo. That was easy. Okay, so questions 2, 3, 4, I remember this. 2, 3, 4, and something are all sort of related. Is it 5? And 5 will also be related. Okay, so they'll all be related. So let's do 2. Preparing for a marathon, he can run 1/6 of a mile in 4/5 of a minute. If the runner ran 1 mile, how many minutes will it take? So we want to know what the unit rate, and this one is 1 mile, right? So we have to write miles at the bottom. Let's start. So 4/5 of a minute, and he can run 1/6 of a mile. So here it says how long, cuánto tiempo for 1 mile. All right, so that's what I want to know. So times 6/1, reciprocal, and then times 6/1. Now, I'm going to leave this. 4 times 6 is 24 over 5. So it's going to be 24 over 5 minutes, which is about 4 and 4. And just let me write this on top. That equals to 4 and 4/5 of a minute. Okay, but I'm going to leave it like this, okay, only because I need that for question 4. So I'm going to do question 4 right now. If the question says if the runner ran for 8 minutes, how many minutes will it take? So I'm going to use that. I create another one here. Sorry, no, that's not the one. Yeah, the runner ran for 8 miles. How many minutes would it take? So what happens when you run 8 miles? Right, so number 4. I'm going to use this times 8. And I'm going to multiply this times 8. So we get 24 over 5 times 8. 32, 16, 192 divided by 5. What's 192 divided by 5? 192 divided by 5 is 38.4, or 38 and 2/5. So he's going to take 38 and 2/5 minutes. Okay, or 192 over 5 minutes. We usually tend to simplify, change it, right? So number 2 and 4 are done here for you. Okay. Now I'm going to do 3 and 5, but I'm going to switch it around. Okay, so let's do number 3 now. Same thing, but I want the unit rate because it's in terms of minute though. I'm going to put the minutes at the bottom. I have a 1/6 of a mile. It takes him 4/5 of a minute. Now I need to find out how long does it take for him to, how far can he go in 1 minute. So in un minuto cuánto. So we'll multiply 5/4, and here 5/4, and we get 5/24 miles. That's okay. That's number 3. What's the unit rate? He runs 5/24 miles in un minuto. What if he ran for an hour and 6 minutes? So an hour and 6 minutes, 1 hora y 6 minutos, 1 hour and 6 minutes. ¿Cuántos minutos son esos? 1 hour is 60 minutos, 60 minutes. Plus 6, this gives us 66 minutes. So this, I'm going to write 66 minutes here. So if he runs, si corres por 66 minutos, right, I'm going to times 66, and over here, times 66. So now, use your calculator. 5/24 times 66, oh geez. Let me simplify this. Divide by 3 is 8. Divide by 3 is 22. Divide by 2 again is 11. This one is 4. It's 55/4. Or 12. It'll be 13. 13 3/4 of a mile. Okay, so if you didn't want to simplify, well, it depends if you're using calculator. So just multiply 5/24 times 66. I'll put over 1 here. 24 times 1 is 24. 5 times 66 is 30. 330. Okay, 330 divided by 24 is 13.75. is the same thing as that one. Okay, so again, we use the unit rate to do our prediction. Okay, so all right, not that bad. I'm just going to take a little. 6, 7, 8. In a Kentucky Derby, on the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, a horse, caballo, was going 2/3 of a mile in 1/6 of a minute. The announcer said the horse could go 8 miles in 3 minutes. Is he correct? Explain your reasoning by using a table to show your work. Well, so let's write here. I know a caballo goes 2/3 of a mile in 1/6 of a minute. So let's find the unit rate in 1 minute. Let's change that and write 1 minute. So we multiply times 6/1. I'll multiply this times 6/1. 2/3, so again, 2/3 times 6/1 equals 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3. 12 divided 3 is 4. So that means 4 miles, 4 millas, in 1 minute. Now, the announcer said in 3 minutes, he can go 8 miles. So let's just, using our proportion, we're going to write 3 minutes over here. And let's see how far this horse can go. 1 times 3 is 3. So on the top, I multiply by 3. And 4 miles times 3 is 12 miles. So according to our calculations, or my calculations, the horse can go 12 miles in 3 minutes. And the announcer said 8 miles in 3 minutes. Is he correct? No. So you can use, this is a way of you showing if the announcer was correct or not. Okay, and we use proportions, right? And you can, if you have a different way of showing it, okay, you can use it. 7, a cheetah, a gazelle, and a lion were racing. A cheetah was racing a gazelle and a lion, okay? For every 5/2 of a mile the cheetah ran, the gazelle ran 1/6 of a mile, and the lion ran 3/4. If the cheetah ran 20 miles, how many miles did the gazelle and lion run? So then we have 3, cheetah, the gazelle, and the lion. So the cheetah is 5/2 of a mile, right? For every 5/2 of a mile. The gazelle ran 1/6 of a mile. And the lion, the lion ran 3/4 of a mile. So the question is, when the cheetah ran, 20 miles. No cheetah's going to run 20 miles. When the cheetah corrió 20 millas, ¿cuánto corrió los otros? When the cheetah ran 20 miles, how much did the gazelle run, and how much did the lion run? So I'm going to use unit rates, and we're going to come to a point where you might not to, but I'm going to change this to a unit rate. So if I change this, give me a second, I'm trying to figure out. So here's what we're going to do. So when the gazelle runs 1 mile, when the cheetah runs 1 mile, I'll multiply this by 2/5, right? So 5/2 times 2/5, that is 1 mile. That means the gazelle, I'm going to multiply by 2/5. It's going to be 2/30, 1 mile. And then here times 2/5. And that's going to be, I'm not going to simplify right now, 6/20. So then when the cheetah runs 1 mile, the gazelle runs 2/30 of a mile, or 1/15. And the lion runs 6/20 of a mile, which is 3/20. But we're not interested in that. What happens when they run when the cheetah runs 20 miles? So times 20, right? So I'm going to multiply this times 20 and this times 20. Okay, so 2/30 times 20 is 40/30, which simplifies to 4/3. Okay, am I doing that correct? 2 times 20 is 40/30, 4/3, and that gives me a 1 1/3 miles. Oh, that's a really slow gazelle. And then the lion, 6/20 times 20, it's going to be 120 over 20, which equals 6. And that's going to be 6 miles. So when the cheetah runs 20 miles, the gazelle runs 1 1/3 miles, and the lion runs 6 miles. Totally not deal. Last question. A recipe calls for special sauce for 4/5 cup of ginger and 1 1/4 cups of pineapple juice. How many cups of ginger do you need if you use 3 cups of pineapple juice? All right. So 4/5 ginger. We're gonna use 1 1/4. Pero 1 1/4 voy a cambiar. Times and plus 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1. I'm gonna change it to 5/4. Change to 5/4 pineapple. Okay. The question is, cuando hay 3 cups of pineapple, how many cups of ginger? Right? So that's what we're trying to answer. So I'm going to use a unit rate. Okay. I'm going to change this. So if I have 1 cup of pineapple, how many ginger? So let's do that first. Times the reciprocal, which is 4/5. And this is time 4/5. So 5/4 times 4/5 equals 1, and then 4/5 times 4/5 is 16/25. Okay, sorry. Oops. Did I do something wrong? No. Yeah, I did. It's not 4/5. No, it is 4/5. What am I doing? 4/5, 4/5, 16/25. That's correct. So now I'm going to the final part. 1 times what's 3 times 3. Over here, times 3. So we're going to get 16/25 times 3 is 48/25. That's going to be 2 and 23/25. Let's say 2. So you can write 48/25, but I hope you can simplify and write 2 23/25. Okay, that's it. Pretty much it.